Today we're making more homemade protein bars. They're so good. It's lunch with Lisa. For this recipe, you're going to need a vegan protein powder like this Orgain. You can use any flavor for this, but I highly recommend the chocolate. Some oat flour, peanut flour, date syrup, tahini. You can go here to see how I made tahini, and milk. I'm using oat milk, some melted cacao butter. I use this butter here. And that's it. So let's put this all together. So I'm gonna be super accurate with this. So I have my bowl and I have my food scale. You can find one of these in my Amazon store, link is down below. If you don't have a food scale and you wanna monitor your weight and how much you're eating, you need to get a food scale. You do need to measure your food if you wanna monitor how much you're actually eating versus what you think you're eating, because that is gonna be the difference between you gaining weight, losing weight, or maintaining your weight. It just is. Get the food scale. Use the food scale. Measuring in grams is going to be way more accurate than anything, so make sure you get a scale that can measure in grams. So I'm going to zero it out after I put my bowl on top. Then I'm going to grab my chocolate protein powder. I'm going to put 95 grams of my protein powder in here. It's much easier to measure than to figure out by scoop because you might be packing it in there or it might be too loose. 95 grams. I'm going to zero it out again, and I want to add 45 grams of my oat flour. Now I just blended this up real quick in my food processor from rolled oats. So easy. Zero it out again, and you want 25 grams of your peanut flour. Love peanut flour. Link is down below to get some of this. It's basically just ground and defatted peanuts. So it's way less fat than using your own peanuts. And if you try to grind up peanuts yourself, it's just gonna turn into peanut butter, which you can see how I make that right there. Okay, date syrup. This was so easy to make. I highly recommend making your own instead of buying it. There's two ways you can make it. This way is without all the pulp and the fiber from the dates. It's just the dates boiled in water and squeezed out all their lovely juices. How cool. Okay, so once I get my powders all in the bowl, I want to mix those all together. Might be easier with a fork or a whisk. Already smells so good. Chocolate and peanut butter. So we're going to add 25 milliliters of this date syrup, about 5 teaspoons, maybe 4. Do 25 grams of the tahini. And then we're going to do 150 milliliters of the milk. We want to mix this all together. Leave some of that flour, and I'm going to add about 10 milliliters of this cacao, melted cacao butter. Mix the rest in. Okay, mixture should be thick, but shouldn't be sticky and stick to your fingers at all, or a lot. So if you can poke it and it's not super all over your fingers, you're good. But if it's stuck like that, then you might need to add a little bit more oat flour. Once it's all mixed, transfer it to a small container. Is that too small? Okay, I got a bigger one. Gonna smoosh it out evenly across this container. Then it's gonna make 12 bars. And I lined it with parchment paper just so I'd have a way to pull it out if it got stuck. I might need to put an extra long sheet underneath there. It's not gonna get stuck. I'm just gonna put it in the freezer. It's not baking or anything. It's just insurance. Now that's evenly dispersed, I'm gonna set that aside. Use the same bowl I'm using before. It's the same ingredients. 80 milliliters or grams of your milk. 60 grams of your peanut flour. The rest of the melted cacao, which is 10 milliliters. And then 50 milliliters of the date syrup. And then we're gonna mix this up. Okay, I have to give it a taste. It's good. Now I'm just gonna pour this onto this. spread it out. Lick the spatula. If you have one of these offset spatulas, they're so handy for this. And definitely don't forget to lick this one. You can just put it in the freezer like this, or you can dress it up. I have here just some regular mini semi-sweet chocolate chips. So I'm just gonna add those to the top. So people know this is chocolate. And then that looks like peanut butter, so. By people, I mean me and my child. And everyone viewing the photographs I take. If you were good, you would measure that out. Just a tiny little bit of chocolate. I'm gonna push those in, make sure they're attached, they don't fall off. All right, that was super quick and easy, but this is the long part. These go in the freezer for about 3 to 4 hours, and then we can chop them up into bars and taste them. All right, so I just pulled this out of the freezer and let it sit for 20 minutes to soften up a little bit so we can cut it into bars. This is going to make 12 bars at 120 calories each. I'm just gonna take my knife and cut this in half. And then I wanna make 6 and 6. All right, so let's dig in. They're kind of cold. I might let this set out for a little bit longer. Chocolatey, peanutty. This is good. So you don't want to leave these out on the countertop. You need to eat them up within a day if you do. Otherwise, store them in the fridge for about a week and in the freezer for a few months. Each bar contains 120 calories, 4.2 grams of fat, 9.7 grams of carbohydrates, with 4.9 grams of that being sugar, and it has 10.4 grams of protein. So definitely high protein, low sugar, yummy treat. Definitely hits the spot for a little protein snack. Totally vegan, no bake, delicious. Try them out today. Let me know how it goes. Leave a comment if you try it out. And if you post on social media, tag me if you make these and take a photo. Would love to see it. You can find me on Instagram at lunch.withlisa. If you like what you see and you want to help support me, there's 3 ways you can do it. You can go shopping on my Amazon store. Just follow the link below. Go buy anything on Amazon. And in the next 24 hours, it'll give me a small commission. Or you can buy me a coffee at coffee.com/lunchwithlisa. Or you can become a patron, like all these lovely people. Patreon.com/lunchwithlisa. And it's always free to like, comment, and subscribe if you want more of these videos. And I will see you in my next video. It's Lunch with Lisa. Protein bars. I like how I say that. Protein bars. They're so cold, but they're so good. Woo. Yummy, yummy.